Hello, welcome. For those of you that don't know me yet, my name is Kim Doyle, and this is intended to be, I call today's class an align and flow class. Sometimes I'll call it a spiritual slow flow class. It's a kind of a similar format, just with different names. But we really take our time in these classes to warm up our bodies before going into our flow. I taught power yoga and vinyasa yoga for many years in like a corporate gym setting, and sometimes I kind of sway back towards those tendencies, and I'll do some abs and it feels really good to get moving. But the beautiful thing about these classes is that I'm teaching them from my healing space. This is where I do one-on-one healing sessions when I'm allowed to do that. And so I'm feeling more comfortable, like just showing up exactly as I am, I mean, put on a little bit of lipstick, a little necklace, but like energetically showing up as I am. And so I'm able to really tailor this class to fit like how I'm feeling today. It doesn't feel quite the same as like going to a yoga studio where there's a specific class on the schedule and I have to offer that type of class. And so I'm feeling a few things on my heart that I'd like to share with you guys. I'm feeling a few things in my body that I'd like to explore with you guys. So I'm going to start diving right in. For those of you that are just joining, this will be an align and flow yoga class. But I usually take these first 10 or 15 minutes to kind of share about myself or share about a theme or share something inspirational. And that way people have time to jump on. So just really feeling called to share what's on my heart right now. There's a few things. So I actually woke up this morning feeling really tired, really, actually in a lot of pain. I've been having a lot of pain in my mid-back for quite some time, and I've been going through an untangling of a relationship for quite some time. And for those of you that know me well, you probably also know Chachi, and it's been hard. It's been hard, but it's also been like the easiest untangling that I have ever been through, because he's an amazing human with a huge heart and an amazing ability to communicate his feelings clearly, to receive mine. And so we have a really great relationship in terms of the way we communicate and the way that we relate. But I've been really exploring, like, what does this polarity of masculine and feminine mean? What does it mean to me? And how does it come together in relationship? And Chachi and I have a really interesting dynamic where we are very similar. And last night I did a workshop with my friends Blake and Sophie. It was like a webinar about embodying the divine masculine and feminine within, and really about balancing the divine masculine and feminine. And one of the things that came through, there was a girl that was on the call, and she was talking about how she just is in her feminine, and she's very receptive, and she's really feeling into the space of just being and tuning into her intuition. But she felt like she just needed to be more linear and more action driven and more like business oriented. And when I get into these spaces where I'm speaking to people, I very much pray to be an open channel and a divinely tuned instrument. So I like to get my like ego and my psyche out of the way and just see what Spirit wants to say through me. And what Spirit wanted to say through me to this woman was, we are living in a time where more and more people are, yes, they're being born in very balanced masculine and feminine ways. I mean, we're experiencing this a lot with like the unfoldment of many different gender types and many different pronouns and many different embodiments of these masculine and feminine energies. And it might be a feminine body and a masculine energy, or it might be these balance, and people who respond to they usually feel very much like there's more than one energy in their body. And so what I said to her was just that, yes, we are moving into a time where this balance is becoming more and more common in people at their time of birth. But some of us that have already been born still tend to have a little bit more polarity. And in my experience, there was a reason that people came together as man and woman for a long time. And it doesn't have to be man and woman, but masculine and feminine for sure. And for those of us that do tend to swing more in one direction, instead of shaming ourselves and shooting ourselves into getting more of the other, into like finding this balance, into being both, into being everything, like what happens if we really just settle into who we truly are and allow ourselves to magnetize the support of the polarity and the opposite into our lives? And so this is something that I've been exploring in my relationship, as I've noticed that in this particular relationship, I was really being called into my masculine. I was really being like, my life was like flipped into being driven and working on my business and trying to figure everything out. And full disclosure, like, I was not feeling super comfortable in that space. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, as someone that identifies as the feminine energy with a healthy dose of masculine, just because of my being raised by my dad and being really into sports. I thought I was really masculine because of those things, but my energy, polarity, that like attraction, that drawing in, that is really the feminine piece where I'm the most comfortable. And if you've ever seen two magnets, when they come together and the poles are the same, one of them will flip. It's physics, it's science. When the magnets come together, one of them flips. And in my relationship, I was experiencing that, where when I was coming together, I was flipping into my masculine space. And it's been reflected in my body. I did a somatic experiencing session with my good friend Kyra. If you're interested in that, let me know. I'd love to link you with her. It was amazing. And in that session, I was kind of tracking sensations through my body. And I felt this energy like moving up my arm and into this point right here where I have a lot of pain often. And it was like, well, what do you think it means? Tap into that. What do you think it means? And what I felt is that I have been pushing for so long. I've been pushing in my life. I've been pushing to get things done. I've been pushing in my chaturanga. I mean, this pushing is exactly the position of chaturanga. So 10 years of pushing off the earth, of pushing into downward facing dog, of pushing into my boundaries and my independence. And then she asked, like, well, what do you think would feel better for you? And it's like, maybe it's time to pull. And so I went through this somatic experiencing of curling up my hands and pulling. And it feels so good in my back. Like, I've got to get a rowing machine. If anyone's got one in their basement that they're not using in Colorado, like, this energy of pulling, it feels like what's really going to heal my back pain. And then also, how does that relate to this feminine energy, this feminine embodiment that I'm feeling really called to be in that space of just pulling towards me that which I desire, pulling towards me the polarity of that masculine, so I don't feel like I have to be that so much. And so it's interesting to observe even what's happening here in Facebook Live. I almost didn't do this yoga class today. I was thinking, you know, I love doing donation-based yoga classes because I want to offer these to the world, but I also love receiving donations. And that's tapered off quite a bit to the point where it's like, okay, am I doing this for myself? Am I doing this for other people? Am I truly doing this for free, or am I expecting something in return? And what I realized is in this like coming together and coming apart of this like separation dance that I'm in right now, whenever we were together, I was in my masculine. It's like, I gotta make money, I gotta do this, I gotta put my yoga class out, and it wasn't working for me. It just doesn't work for me that way. But even in this moment, after staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, like crying and processing all of this with him, it's like I feel very much more in my feminine now with that separation. And I feel like at this point, I'm back into just attracting whatever it is that I need into my life. And I have way more of you watching right now than I did on Wednesday when I was in my masculine and I was just doing and I was just getting things done. And I share this with you guys not from a polarity of man and woman, not at all. And I really appreciate the people who are able to embody both. I have noticed that a lot of them seem to be a little bit younger than me, so there seems to be like a wave of different kinds of consciousness coming through. Don't hold me to that. It's just a working theory. But for example, my partner, who I love so much, he has been trying so hard to be like a masculine provider. He's been like really wanting to step into the space so I can step out of it. But it's been wearing him out. Like he expressed to me last night, and I hope it's okay for me to share this, that he has been waking up sad in the mornings, like not feeling like his actual self. And he's a masculine man. He's a man. He's a straight man, in relationship to me anyways. But his polarity is feminine. He is in his most power when he is magnetizing things towards him. And so I want to give each of you permission to be exactly what you are. If you are in your most power, when you are action driven, when you are planning, when you are providing, when you are organizing, when you are thinking things through with logic, whether you are a man or a woman, if you are that, be that. Yes, you can develop your feminine qualities of feeling and intuition, but own your strengths. Why are we going around fixing ourselves all the time? It's time to just be who you actually are. And if you are an embodiment that feels best with that softness and that meditation and that drawing, pulling things towards you, that magnetism, you know, I notice when I'm in my feminine, I feel very connected to the earth. I'm gardening and I'm making my tinctures. I'm like, I want to be that more than I want to be like building a website and making my business and all of those other things. And I too have been pushing to be someone that I'm not. And so I realize I probably talked a little bit longer than I usually do today, but I just wanted to share that with you guys, to give yourselves permission to be exactly who you are. And sometimes it means making hard decisions, like separating out of a relationship with someone that is kind and caring and loving and amazing. Because for me, I found that I loved this person so much, but I didn't love who I was showing up in the relationship as. And like you've maybe heard it before, that it doesn't really it matters how much you love someone else, but what is the most important is loving yourself. And that means not trying to fix yourself. That means not trying to change anyone else. That means being exactly who you are. Thank you guys for joining. I just did a kind of vulnerable share, so I'm a little bit in tears for those of you that just jumped in, about the polarity of masculine and feminine. So if you didn't catch that first part, I'd love for you to watch it when it is on the replay, and I would love feedback. I'd love to hear how you guys are receiving this and how it resonates for you. So kind of in the same vein as just showing up who you are and as you are today, I'm in pain. I've been crying. My back hurts. I am not receiving the financial support that I need to be in my feminine, and I'm paying for this house, and I'm feeling that weight. I'm feeling it in my back. So I'm going to take a couple deep breaths. And just let myself feel how I'm feeling. And I'm going to share with you guys what I do when I'm like this. Because for years I've just showed up as a yoga teacher and pushed aside my feelings and powered through. And if the schedule said power yoga, I taught power yoga, whether my body was ready for it or not. So today I want to show you what I would have to do before those power yoga classes when I was feeling emotional to get myself feeling good, to be there. So this is one of the tools that I like to use. This is by Yoga Tune-Up Therapy Balls. But I've also worked with tools like this where you just get 2 tennis balls or 2 lacrosse balls and put them in a sock and tie the sock in a knot. So you don't have to do this today. I'm going to just show you guys a little bit with this, and then we'll get into more of the work that you can do without this tool. But if you have one of these at home, if you have 2 tennis balls and an old sock, or 2 lacrosse balls and an old sock, or if you get one of these, please send me a message, because I would like to do an actual class with these, but I'll need to know who to send the invite to, who actually has these. So what I do with these when I'm feeling pain, and stick with me here because I know you can't do this, you probably didn't plan on having your yoga balls handy, but I just want to show you what I do with these when I'm having pain in my back. It's pretty simple because you can practice it at home, but you basically just place these on your spine, and I'll usually start with them at the neck and kind of scoot down towards the bottom of the mat. And just allow your body weight to let these balls sink in along the spine. And I like to kind of inchworm myself up. I'll usually put my hands behind my head so my hair doesn't get stuck. You kind of inchworm your way up. Whew, taking some deep breaths. You might find some spots that are particularly tender where you can really just hold for 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And once you get to the lower back, there's a little bit less pressure. So sometimes it feels good to hug the knees in. And sometimes it feels good to put the legs up. And you can kind of work out spots here and roll down all the way through. When you get to the tailbone, you can get a little bit of massaging action there. And I'll sometimes take the yoga balls and put them in my hips as well, and just kind of rock and roll into those areas. And this kind of goes along with the theme because the man that I'm separating with is an amazing massage therapist, so I'm learning to take care of myself right now. So this is, and even just one pass through with this will help me so much if I'm feeling like, man, how am I going to teach this yoga class when I'm in physical pain, or especially like right before I go to sleep if I'm in physical pain. So I'll keep the demo on this pretty short because I know not everyone there has your yoga balls handy, but see if you've got two tennis balls or two lacrosse balls. Put them in an old sock, tie it in a knot, send me a message, and I'll know which one of you guys have this, and I'll set something up for us to do a class where we actually use these. But since most of us don't have these handy right now, you can go ahead and just get prepared for a gentle align and flow yoga experience, and we'll drop in the beginning with a little bit of a meditation on this masculine and feminine polarity, and then I'll work through some movement. I'm going to do a little bit of abdominal massage to balance the work on my back. A lot of times the back stuff comes from the psoas, especially if you're feeling emotional like I am, because it's that fight or flight response. And I find that my psoas tends to kind of freeze up when I go into that state. So we'll do some abdominal massage, some gentle movement, and then we may or may not get into the flow portion of class today. We'll just see how it goes. So go ahead and find your comfortable seat. Close your eyes. And just start to take some deep breaths. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. The cleansing breath. You can just visualize anything that needs to leave your field, leaving on the breath. Give it a color, a texture. Even in my case, my physical pain, I choose for it to leave on my exhale, on my breath, leave my body. On the exhale, release emotional pain. On the exhale, release your shoulds. Release anything that you're pushing against. And I invite you to just bring your awareness to your center, your core, kind of like whatever the center of the earth is, you can only imagine it. Whatever the center of your body is, you can only imagine it. Sense it more than see it with your physical eyes. We're just going to do a little bit of a practice here. I invite you to just sense in your body, what does it feel like to be magnetic? What does it feel like to have that magnetic core? Notice any sensations in the body. Notice how it feels through the core, through the rest of the body, through the central nervous system specifically. And then allow yourself to flip. We all do truly have both polarities. And ask yourself to experience, what does it feel like to be electric? Notice how it feels in your core to be electric. You might notice the sensation in the heart, and the rest of the body, the limbs. Notice what it feels like in your central nervous system. And then ask yourself if there's one space that you feel more comfortable in. And I just had an aha moment that I've been required to be in my masculine for these first almost 39 years of my life. So in order for me to be a balanced human being, it's time for me to step into my feminine for at least another 39 years. So if you've felt balanced and like you've been able to float between both places, then that is your continued path. If you feel strongly that your life's path is one specific way, own that. If you're like me, where you've been living in a space where you're not that comfortable because you feel like you need to, allow yourself to step into the other space, the other polarity. Allow yourself to be. For me, it is allowing myself to be magnetic, pulling instead of pushing. But each of us are different, so let this be a grand experiment within yourself. This is a beautiful time to set an intention for your day, to set an intention for your class, maybe for your weekend. You might have certain intentions that you know you're working with, that you know you're wanting to call in. Or maybe your intention is around this theme of the masculine and the feminine. But really take a moment to formulate a positive word or phrase. And once you have, please bring the palms to press together at heart center. Bringing the palms to press together at heart center, sitting up nice and tall. We'll begin with 2 cleansing breaths and 1 Om in through the nose. And out through the mouth. This time sigh. This time on. Gently begin to rub the hands together, create some heat and some friction with the hands. And place the hands over the eyes. Allow the heat of the hands to soften the face and smile. Then gently flutter the eyes open and float the hands down. Start with the legs wide here. For those of you that have been with me since the beginning or for part of the beginning of this class, I did want to mention, or just through the meditation, that this is a download I got maybe 6 months or a year ago about this like magnetic versus electric. And for some people that do have both, totally sovereign. Some people are one or the other, and we're coming together. But when you get these magnetic and electric polarities together, it's an electromagnet, just like the earth. So just want to throw that out there. All right, so let's start with the legs nice and wide. Be nice and gentle moving into this class. For those of you that are just joining, I'm in a little bit of pain today, so we'll see how deep we get into the practice, but maybe that's great, because for some people they don't want all the hard stuff. They want this gentle stuff. So legs are wide and just start to rock and roll forward and back. And slowly bring your body forward and just find a stretch that's comfortable for you. There are some days when I lay completely flat on the earth, and other days like today, I'm sitting up tall. You can start to point and flex the feet, so they'll make a little motion like this. If you like, you can rock a little bit side to side. Just gentle stretching of the inner thighs. I find the most important part really truly is the breath. Otherwise I'm just leading stretching, not yoga. Big inhales and exhales. Last one. And slowly start to come on up. For those of you just joining, I did a little meditation and had a description of the balance of the masculine and feminine, so I'd highly encourage you, if you didn't catch the beginning, to go after the replay and watch that first half. It's been really on my heart that this is like something really important to share. So let's go ahead and find your way into the tabletop position. Now, we are going to get into a little bit of abdominal massage today, so we want to activate those muscles before we massage them. So finding the tabletop position, let's first move through a few cow poses and cat. Couple more. Last one. And come on back to center. When you're ready, reach the right leg up behind you. Notice the belly engages. And then reach the left arm forward. So right leg reaches back, left arm reaches forward. Big inhale here. Exhale. Bring the elbow to the knee or the knee to the nose. And we'll just start to find a flow here. Remember our intention. We're warming up so we can get into a little bit of abdominal massage here. So really choose to consciously participate in warming up through the abdomen. You might seal the lips and take Ujjayi breath. Holding in that hot air into your body. Let's take 3 more. Two. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Inhale, gently reach. And exhale, release. Second side. Find your center. And when you're ready, left leg reaches back up behind you. Activate through the core. Inhale, right arm reaches. Exhale, elbow to knee or knee to nose. And just start to flow. Warming up the core so we can get into some abdominal massage. Taking real good care of myself today after having a really emotional night, having some body pain. Thank you guys for receiving me exactly as I am today. 3 more. 2. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Inhale, gently reach. And exhale, release. Let's find child's pose. Sink the hips towards the heels, release the forehead to the earth. Maybe bend the elbows and give a little bit more width there. And really allow yourself in this moment to surrender. I love surrender because it's not a masculine or a feminine trait. It's a human trait. And breathe for 3. 2. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. And slowly come on up. We're going to make our way onto the back, get into a little bit of abdominal massage. I did this a couple weeks ago, so some of you have maybe done this with me. I also wanted to show you, so I requested that people make some of these, stick a couple tennis balls or lacrosse balls into an old sock and make a homemade version of this so we can do some work together. But you might also have one of these at home or find one online. This is like the wooden version. I just saw it over there and wanted to show it to you guys. Alright, so let's find your way flat on the back. Plant the feet. Let's do a couple bridges here. So hands by the hips, shoulders wide, length through the back of the neck. Heels pretty close to the buttocks. You could almost just barely tickle them with your fingertips. And isometrically squeeze the knees together. So they're not actually touching, but there's an imaginary yoga block between the knees with a little bit of a squeeze. Big inhale. And exhale, lift the hips. So this is another great way to activate through the body. I've experienced muscle activation technique a number of times, and I find it very helpful when working with pain in the body to activate that area before we ask it to release. This is a great one to do before you do the yoga balls up and down the spine. 2 more deep breaths. Last one, big inhale. And exhale, gently release. You can walk the feet a little bit further away from you and bring the hands to the lower belly and just start to massage into the lower belly area. Just gentle massage to begin. I like to put my fingers together, kind of in a little V, and use the pads of the fingers, almost like a cat would do a massage, of course without the claws. Just massaging through. Ooh. I personally notice a lot of tenderness, a lot of tension in my abdominal area. Pretty much anytime I have back pain, I want to go into this abdominal area. They say when you're kind of studying the connection between the body and the mind, that back pain is a symbol of feeling not supported or not being able to support yourself, both. It can have to do with finances, home. I've definitely been struggling financially, which is why I've been doing these Actually, I don't want to say that. Cancel that. I'm doing okay. I'm just trusting the pay what you can model and working on building up some of my coaching clients, right? But when the back hurts, yes, it has to do with feeling that instability, but on a physical level, that might put you into fight or flight if you feel not supported or not able to support yourself. And that fight or flight, it really activates the psoas, the deep muscles in the abdominal area. And I find when I allow myself some time to do this work before I have to go teach a yoga class or before I go to bed, it is just night and day how much better I feel after giving this area some attention. Also, if you have digestive issues, this can be really, really helpful. If you have endometriosis or cysts, you know, when you get a massage at a massage therapist place, often the one place they do not touch is the belly. Not always. I'd love to meet the massage therapists that are doing abdominal work. I did a abdominal massage training course a few summers ago, and it was like completely life-changing to learn how to work in this area. And I could teach you techniques, I could teach you specifics, but the one thing I learned is that this is so intuitive. You know exactly what to do. One of my favorite sayings is, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know exactly what to do. So just massaging. If you find like a hardness in the belly, I invite you to just press gently, or as strong or as gentle as feels like you're going to get a release, not like you're resisting it. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So see if you can find any of those spots that need that extra time, that extra awareness and intention, that extra cleansing breath. Just take 3 or 4 more deep breaths here. 2. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Very gently reaching the right arm up overhead. Shift the hips to the left and roll to the right, so that you're able to press yourself up and out without over-engaging those abdominal muscles. From here, let's find our way to downward facing dog. We're going to play around with those energies of push-pull. So just notice that in downward facing dog, this is an energy of push. You can begin to pedal out the feet. Breathe into the calves, breathe into the hips. Breathe into the hands and the arms and feel that pushing of the earth away from you. This is why yoga is so good for people with trauma or people that need to work on their boundaries, because we're learning to push. We're finding those boundaries. I listened to a podcast recently or something like that where they said, yeah, people who have had trauma love yoga because they learn to be in control. And it makes so much sense to me, these boundaries, these pushing. 2 more deep breaths. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Slowly walk the feet towards the hands. Soften the knees a lot. Grab opposite biceps. Let the head hang. Shake the head yes and no. Open and close the jaw 2 or 3 or 4 times to release any tension in the face. And you can sway side to side as you bend one knee and straighten the other. And just imagine any heavy burdens you've been carrying release off the body. Roll off the shoulders, shake off the back. You can bounce a little bit. One more big inhale. And exhale, release the hands, squeeze the inner thighs. Come on up to a halfway lift. So I'm going to start to play around with this energy of pulling in my yoga practice just to see how it feels. So see how it feels to pull your arms up here in a halfway lift. Just see how it feels. Reaching down. It's almost like we're pulling weeds, right? It's time for me to do that in my garden. Pull that energy up. Maybe even bring the arms back behind you. That extends that pulling sensation. Let's do one more. Gentle forward fold. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up, touch the palms overhead, and bring the hands to heart center. I sometimes get dizzy when I stand up. I find just touching the hands to the knees momentarily really helps. You can always go all the way down to the ground. It takes about 3 seconds for me to kind of equalize that blood pressure. All right, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale up to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank position. You're welcome to move through any variation of vinyasa that you would like. I'm going to skip them today. I'm feeling like I don't want to spend so much time pushing. So I'll give you those options. I always say flow through a vinyasa or come to downward facing dog. And I'm going to continue to say that. And today I'm just going to demo what it's like to come right into downward facing dog. All right, inhale, right leg reaches up. Bend into the right knee. Stack the hips. Big inhale. See how it feels to extend that right leg. Point the toe. You might even come up on the tippy toe on that left leg. But you're still stacking the hips. Square the shoulders. A good trick for that is to look under the left elbow. Big inhale. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Plant into that right heel. Squeeze the inner thighs. And inhale, come on up. So, like I said, we're going to play around with this energy of pulling. The somatic therapy session that I did yesterday, she said, I want you to pull on everything. I want you to pull on trees and pull on your friends and pull on doorknobs and pull on doorways. And I'm like, okay, how do I add that into yoga? Big inhale. Exhale, just imagine pulling down, heaven to earth. I love this. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, just imagine pulling heaven down to earth. 2 more. Last. Beautiful. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, float the hands down. You can flow through a vinyasa and or meet in downward facing dog. If you go right to downward facing dog, take a breath. When we all meet in downward facing dog, we'll take a breath together, sigh it out, big inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Bend into the knee, stack the hips. Square the shoulders so you can look under the right armpit. And if you choose, tippy toes on the right foot. Tippy toes through the left foot. Deep breaths here. Big inhale. And exhale. Step it through. So if the toes don't come all the way up to the fingertips, shimmy them forward. We want the knee over the ankle. Ground into that left heel. Squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale, come on up. So let's see how this feels to do this pulling once again. Big inhale. And exhale, making those fists pulling down. I love the visualization of pulling heaven down on earth. We could all use more of that. Big inhale. And exhale, pull it down. Two more. Last one. Beautiful. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, float the hands down. Flow through a vinyasa and or meet in downward facing dog. If you're not sure what a vinyasa is, send me a message. We can do a little mini session on what that is. Once we've all met in downward facing dog, please take child's pose. Remember, surrender is not a masculine or feminine quality. Just a human quality. Let yourself surrender. 2 more deep breaths. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Inhale up through tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees and look at the hands. And exhale, top of the mat. Inhale up to a halfway lift. Exhale, dive deep, forward fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. High plank position. Again, you can move through a vinyasa. I'm choosing not to do those today. If you don't know what they are, check in with me. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, reaching that right leg up and back and stacking the hips. And exhale, step it through. Shimmy those toes up into the fingertips, in line with the fingertips. Inhale, come on up. This time we're going to add a tap of the back knee as you pull down. 2 more. Inhale, reach. And exhale, feel what it feels like to be like magnetic. Let's just embody that energy. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, drop the back heel, open up, warrior 2. So for those of you playing around with these polarities with me, warrior 2 is electric. We're sending energy out. I can't do that today. So I'm going to bring my hands to the heart center. For those of you that are feeling it, feel what it feels like to be electric. Spread the fingers wide. Gaze out. Feel all of that energy moving out. Exploring that polarity. Maybe you choose hands to the heart, finding yourself magnetic in this moment. Maybe you choose to spread your energy wide, finding yourself electric. Remember, we're working towards that electromagnetism, either within yourself or within a union. 2 more deep breaths here. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Release the left arm back, reach the right arm up and back for reverse warrior. That's your inhale. On your next exhale, windmill down, step it back. You can flow through a vinyasa, or you can meet in downward facing dog. Let's take a sigh here together. Big inhale. And exhale. Inhale, left leg reaches. Stack the hips. Really reach, reach, reach. That's the inhale. You can sneak in another inhale. And exhale. Step it through. Ground into the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. So we're playing around with polarity here. I want you to really feel the difference between being magnetic and drawing in and being electric and spreading out. And for those of you that are just joining, I'm not feeling very electric today, so I'm modeling more of the magnetic portion of the poses. All right, inhale, here we are. Exhale, hover the back knee, draw the arms down, draw all the energy in. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, draw it in. 2 more. Last one. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, blossom open, warrior 2. So left knee over left ankle, left heel aligns with the inner right arch. The electric version is spreading the arms, spreading the fingers, spreading the energy. For those of you that are feeling that, I want you to do that even if I'm not demoing it. I'm going to bring my hands in, draw my energy in. It's not often I cry in the beginning of a yoga class. I think it's only ever happened one other time when I was teaching at Sonic Bloom on the anniversary of my mother's death. And I guess I laughed to make it a little lighter. But I'm feeling tired. I'm choosing to draw my energy in, but I'm choosing to still show up and teach this class. And you might choose to be electric. You might choose to be strong. If that is you, do that. Own who you are and what you are in every moment. Let's take another deep breath here. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, windmill down. Left hand, right hand. You can flow through a vinyasa. Or you can meet in downward facing dog. Once in downward facing dog, let's take a big sigh together. And please find child's pose. Magnetic, electric, man, woman, masculine, feminine, all the other. Somebody told me last night there's 13 genders. Yes. All of us are human and deserve to surrender periodically. 3 deep breaths. 2. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Gently lifting up, inhale up through tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. You can reach it up and back. Stack the hips, point the tippy toes. And exhale, step it through. It's lower to the back knee. Uncurl the back toes. You can tiptoe that right foot off to the side and bring the right hand to the inside of the right leg. So here we are in a runner's lunge. This might be enough for you here. Hug the right knee into the shoulder and find your level of effort and surrender, strength and flexibility. You might come down onto the forearms. I'm going to choose to not do that today. You might also extend that back leg off the earth. Again, I'm going to choose to not do that today. But you do have a choice. Runner's lunge for 3, 2, and 1 big inhale. And exhale. From here, I want you to roll onto the knife edge of the right foot. So flex the foot strongly, pull the toes back towards the knees, and roll onto the knife edge. So this is just going to deepen the stretch. You can bring that right hand to the inside of the right knee. Maybe even look over that right shoulder, a couple deep breaths. Two. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. And slowly shift the hips back. Toe heel the right foot across the mat and release to the right knee. Finding yourself in pigeon pose. I like to kind of tent my fingers to really hold myself up when I first get in this pose. And you can even drop the right shoulder, look over the right shoulder. Make sure that that right foot isn't sickled in, but that it's nice and straight. This also allows the left hip to come forward just a little bit, and then keep the left hip there on a big inhale. And exhale, come on down onto the forearms. So we're finding our way here into pigeon pose. And now you want your forehead to make contact with something. This is going to engage your body's parasympathetic nervous system or relaxation response. So either 2 stacked fists for the forehead, 2 stacked hands, or forehead to the earth. For those of you that have taken my yoga classes for a while, you can probably tell that I'm not 100%. I'm backing off. I'm taking the easier route. I'm giving myself more support. I think if I was teaching in person, today would be one of those days where I mostly made adjustments and walked around the room and didn't actually demo anything. When you're teaching online, it's a little bit harder to do that. So I'm just demoing the easier way, and that's okay. Everybody's different every day. 2 more deep breaths. Last one. And when you're ready, slowly walk back up on the hands. Plant the hands as if you were going into downward facing dog. Curl the back toes under, straighten the back leg. Here we got to do it. We got to push up and back. I'll get back on the mat. And you can reach that right leg up, roll out the ankle, roll out the hip. And find your way to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts up and back, tippy toes on both toes. And exhale, step it through. Lower to the back knee, uncurl the back toes. Toe heel that left foot off to the side, bring the left hand inside the left foot. So again, options for your runner's lunge. The left knee can hug into the left shoulder. You can come down to the forearms. I'm not going to do that today. You can also come up onto the back heel and straighten that back leg. Wherever you are, just allow yourself to be exactly as you are right now. Not trying to have more energy on days when you feel low energy. Not trying to slow yourself down on the days that you feel really driven. Just really trusting that you are a part of nature and that you are being given these impulses very intentionally. Two more deep breaths. Last one. Beautiful. And when you're ready, start to widen that left knee off to the left. So pull the toes back towards the knee, widen the left knee off to the left. You might even bring that left hand to the inside of the left leg. You can even look over that left shoulder. For 3. 2. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. And when you're ready, lift the hips. Toe heel the left foot towards the right side of the mat and come on down onto the left knee. Tense your fingers, so prop yourself up just a little bit here. Look over that left shoulder, make sure the right foot isn't rolled in, but it's nice and straight. Let the right hip come forward just a little bit and then keep that as you inhale back to center. Exhale, come on down to the forearms. I like to start on forearms always and then find that point where your forehead can rest on something. Maybe on the floor, maybe 2 stacked hands, maybe 2 stacked fists. But no matter where you are, bring the elbows wide, let the shoulders release. And breathe. Even in this pose, you can play around with what does it feel like to be magnetic? What does it feel like to be electric? My body just changed, right? And just see where you're most comfortable. In the workshop that we did yesterday about the masculine and the feminine, there's actually a worksheet where you can rate your masculine and feminine for each day. Because we are all working towards balance. Balance within ourselves and balance within our relationships. Three more deep breaths here. Two. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. And slowly walk back up onto the hands. Plant the hands as if they were in the downward facing dog position. Curl the back toes under. Straighten the back leg. And press up and back. Shake out the leg. Roll out the foot. Roll out the hips. Find your way to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees and look at the hands. And exhale, hop through to seated. Take a moment to roll all the way down onto the back and hug the knees in and rock side to side. Circle the knees. I invite you at this time to take any last poses that your body is calling for. I know this class is a little bit of a different energy level than my usual morning classes, but that's okay. I'm proud of myself for showing up. If you do have a yoga block, one of my favorite ways to release the hips and the back is to find bridge pose with the block underneath. If you don't worry about it. And I will ask, if you're one of my regular students, whether you're watching live or a replay, if you're one of my regular students and you do have blocks, one of these balls situations, yoga balls for the back, if you have blocks or some variation of yoga balls, please let me know, because I'd like to incorporate more of them, but I want this to be accessible. Also, if you don't have those, let me know that as well, so I know so much. This is another good time to just do another round of abdominal massage. Ooh. Sometimes sound helps to release things. Just taking any last poses that your body's calling for and preparing for final Shavasana. Once you're ready, you can find yourself flat on the back. If you are having lower back pain, which as you know I am today, a bolster under the knees can be super helpful. And if you like it to be even higher, you can use the blocks with the bolster on top. So yeah, let me know if you have props. Maybe I'll do a whole class on props. That'd be fun. All right, find your way somehow into some way, into some position that you feel like you can hold. Get any last wiggles and jiggles out of the way. Make an open mouth sigh. Allow a wave of relaxation to travel from the feet, through the lower legs, the upper legs, through the pelvis and the abdominals, the organs. Feel the wave of relaxation move through the lungs and the ribs, all the way around the body, up through the heart. The belly and the back, the chest and the shoulders, relax. Through the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the lower arms, the hands and fingers. Feel that wave of relaxation back up through the fingers and the hands, the lower arms, upper arms, shoulders. Relax down the collarbones and up the front of the neck. Around the sides of the neck and up the back of the neck. Relax all the way up the back of the neck to the crown of the head. And into the forehead, let the forehead melt. Melt through the temples, the sides of the head, the ears, and into the lower jaw. Relax all the way down the lower jaw to the chin, the lips, the tongue. Even relax the teeth and the roof of the mouth. From the roof of the mouth, through the sinuses, to the nose and cheeks. Relax across the nose and cheeks. And into the eye area. Relax the eyebrows, the eyelids, the circular muscles that line the eye sockets. When the eyeballs sink deep, there's a gentle inwards and upwards rotation of the eyes. Nothing forced, totally natural. As your awareness comes to the center of the brain at the tippy top of the spinal column. Relax the brain as a muscle, feel it soften. And allow your awareness to come to your core, the center of your being. Playing with polarity here. Yes, you might notice one that you're more comfortable in, and that might change during different phases of your life. But just playing with it here, let it be fun. Allow yourself to be magnetic. And allow yourself to shift and be electric. And drawing back in the energy energy of magnetism. And giving out electricity. And notice that you are always on some kind of pulse. And just begin to notice as you move throughout the world, the other beings that you come in contact with. If they are more magnetic or electric, if you are more magnetic or electric regularly, and if there are certain people or situations that cause you to flip polarities. Let this be a grand experiment, as I've been experimenting with this for the past year or so. And let me know, send me a message on your findings. I'm quite curious. Starting to reintegrate everything from today into the body, the mind, and the spirit by deepening the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes, the wrists and the ankles. Move the head from side to side. Reach the arms up overhead, point the toes down below. Big inhale, stretch. And exhale, soften. Bend one knee at a time. Bring your feet to the mat below you. And roll to either side through the fetal position. And when you're ready, gently press yourself up. Find your comfortable seat. Come back to your intention. Palms pressed together at heart center, sitting up nice and tall. And sealing your practice with 2 cleansing breaths and 1 Om in through the nose and out through the mouth. This time sigh. This time Om. Thumbs to the heart, lips, and forehead reminds us to keep who you really are in your heart, in your words, and in your thoughts. The energy, the intention, the polarities within me honor and support the energy, the intention, the polarities within each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you made it through to the end of the class, please send me a message and let me know. Facebook doesn't show me who it is that I have been practicing with, so I would love to honor you for that. And whether you're catching this on Facebook Live or catching this on the replay, any and all donations that are made through Venmo or PayPal are greatly appreciated. You can also reach out to me directly to find out other ways to make contributions, or if you're interested in one-on-one yoga sessions or one-on-one coaching sessions. And I'm just going to throw this here at the end of this video to see how many people respond, because a lot of people do watch these replays, but I have no idea who actually does the classes. I'm contemplating maybe doing less of these yoga classes per week, so that I can balance my energy a little bit better and the energy exchange that I'm receiving from others. If you love the yoga, let me know that. Let me know, Kim, I want you to keep doing yoga classes. Let me know. I love the flow class. Let me know I love the restorative class. Let me know I like a little bit more of a gentle flow. Let me know I want a more power flow. Let me know what you want in terms of yoga, because I'm noticing that most people are tuning in for the beginning of these classes. So I may shift into doing more regular drop-ins and meditations, and then just a couple yoga classes per week. And maybe that still works for you. Maybe you're not doing 3 yoga classes per week with me. Maybe you're doing 1 or 2. So if you make it to the end of this class live or on the replay, please give me some feedback so I can know as I'm kind of morphing and moving where we want to go with this. So thank you so much for your support, and keep tuning into that masculine-feminine balance, that magnetic and electric, and how you interplay with other people and where you feel more comfortable and who makes you flip. And yeah, let me know how the experiment goes, the electromagnetic experiment. I love you all so much. Thank you.